So this first-time playwright, he is 24, and this play is so extraordinary. And when you hear it, it's. I would love to do Q&A after, but I wanted to share with you about Red Nation Celebration Institute. It's. We are 24 years old. We're in our 24th season, and it's the longest-standing Native arts and cultural nonprofit in the city of LA. We founded the American Indian Heritage Month in the city of LA, and we also have our film festival, which this is our 5th day. It runs for 15 days. So if you want to see some really extraordinary films, the films start screening on Friday, and they're all amazing, from animation to documentaries to shorts to features. 23 films directed by women. So we're doing really well. Yes. Yeah, 2017 we had 22, 18 we had 22, and this year we have 23. So we're doing really well. And go to the website, rednationff.com, and you could see all the films. I so encourage you to come and experience our point of view. Thank you.
With that, we're going to go ahead and begin Who We Are by Lennixx-Nickolai Treat Bad Moccasin. Act 1. Scene. Charles Ramon, Charlie Ray Red Thunder, sits on his bed. His legs are crossed. He holds his head in his hands, frustrated.
Damn it.
He lies down on the bed, flicking off his lamp. Scene change. The cell is bare, completely empty save for a glass bottle on the ground and 4 figures. 2 women and 2 men. 3 of them sit in a corner of the cell. The 4th lies on his side on the ground. Above the cell is a large neon sign reading, "Welcome to the mind of Charles Ramon Red Thunder." Grandpa Charles stops walking. She pushes up her glasses and turns to the other individual wandering the cell.
He's not looking good, Frankie D.
Frankie D stops his pacing. He kicks at the cell bars with his boot before turning his attention. He crouches down, lowering his hand to the person lying in the cell.
Hey, Goose, come on, man.
Goose turns away from Frankie D. Frankie D stands up and shrugs at Grandpa Charles and Resi Ramon. Resi Ramon throws her hand out in frustration.
I don't think there's much we can do for him now.
Hey, not with that attitude.
But Grandpa Charles nods. The cell shakes, the lights flicker and go out.
Well, shit.
The lights flash back on. Grandpa Charles, Frankie D, and Resi Ramon take in their surroundings. Goose is still lying on the ground. The other side of the cell lies a new person. He stirs before opening his eyes. Frankie D waves at the stranger.
Welcome.
Sketchy.
Frankie D reaches for the side of the stranger's head. He scrambles away but quickly stops when his back hits the cell bars.
Come on, no need to be acting up.
Don't overwhelm him.
Fine. What's your name, new guy?
The stranger slowly stands up.
My name is Douche. What the hell?
Resi Ramon lightly smacks his arm.
You're trying to say your name is Charlie Ray, aren't you? Don't. Just let the words flow out.
Douchebag Chuck hesitates. Then he nods.
My name is Douchebag Chuck.
Douchebag Chuck shakes his head in frustration.
I'm Francis Diamond McQueen, but you can call me Frankie D.
And I'm just Grandpa Charles.
Resi Ramon.
Douchebag Chuck takes in his limited surroundings. He sees Goose lying on the floor, and he points.
Who's that guy?
That's Goose. He's not doing too well.
Weird. My friends used to call me that.
We remember.
A rumble outside of the cell makes them go quiet. From the darkness emerges a man. He wears casual clothing, including a baseball cap covered in plastic buttons. Frankie D, Grandpa Charles, and Resi Ramon drag Goose away from the bars. They stand between him and the man.
Leave him alone, baby chick.
Douchebag Chuck watches from his corner. Baby Chick doesn't seem to be interested in him.
Quiet.
Baby Chick looks up at the lights. He smiles as they go out. An unseen struggle ensues. The lights turn back on. Baby Chick still stands on the other side of the bars. But Goose is gone. Baby Chick smiles, satisfied, before disappearing into the darkness.
Damn it.
Douchebag Chuck points at the three of them.
What happened to Goose? And why did you call that guy my stupid childhood nickname?
It's his name.
Grandpa Charles holds her hands out in front of him, attempting to calm Douchebag Chuck. Douchebag Chuck looks closer at Grandpa Charles's glasses and takes them.
That reflection. That's not me.
Grandpa Charles grabs the sides of Douchebag Chuck's head. Douchebag Chuck freezes.
Gramps, what the hell? You said not to overwhelm him.
Grandpa Charles shrugs.
I'm just getting him caught up.
You see, douchebag, when we first got here, there were 5 of us. Me, Grandpa, Frankie D, Goose, and Little Chaz.
We didn't know how we got here or why we looked different. Then little Chaz started to get sick. In a few months, Baby Chick showed himself.
Little Chaz got so sick that he couldn't even talk. Like dead sick. Ain't it?
Baby Chick absorbed little Chaz. He was just gone.
Not gone, like all the way, but
Dormant. Baby Chick suppressed him within himself. And then Goose got sick. The same thing. It just happened. You saw.
We never had a new one show up before. Well, I mean, there was Baby Chick, but I think he was already here, watching us for those first few months.
Grandpa Charles drops her hands. Douchebag Chuck shakes his head almost in a daze.
Understand now? We're all part of Charlie Ray.
Realization moves across Douchebag Chuck's face.
Grandpa Charles is what my co-workers used to call me when I'd be overly careful. And Frankie D
The
is...
name of your supposed past life. It's the name you told people when they asked how you gave such complex advice. I'm the source of wisdom here.
Frankie D presents himself with jazz hands.
Our wisdom, but not our tact. Quite frankly, I think I'm wisdom.
I guess I'm our Resi's side. I don't get it either. When we first got here, I had a bottle of booze in my hand. Which, I mean, fuck off.
Resi Ramon flips off the empty space around her with both hands.
Not just the res side, culture too. She's the best at speaking Lakota, and she knows more about ceremony than the rest of us combined, which is odd considering we should all have the same knowledge base.
We're not separate souls or anything.
Not a bunch of Wanachis.
I've seen the movie Split.
Charlie Ray doesn't have dissociative identity disorder.
I mean, you could say we're pieces of a puzzle that is Charlie Ray's mind, different aspects of his singular personality. Code switching is real, my pal.
Charlie Ray must really be going through it, eh?
The boy is theatrical.
You mean we're all theatrical, and I personally think he's just really clever.
But since we all seem to be different, separate, different things,
That's why we all look different.
Douchebag Chuck nods.
I saw in your memory Goose, Little Chaz. They didn't look like Charlie Ray either. And Baby Chick sure doesn't look like a 6-year-old in there. But if we're all part of Charlie Ray, why do Grandpa Charles and Resi Ramon look like women?
dude, don't be sexist.
Acting all some kind of way.
Well, you see, douchebag.
I'm just saying, you guys...
Frankie D moves forward to answer.
There's nothing wrong with a little diversity.
I think what Mr. Wisecracker here is trying to say is that women have impacted your life for the entirety of your life. It only makes sense that some aspects of your personality lean toward the feminine.
Fair. Okay, but like, why aren't your names like Grandma Charlotte or Resi Ramona?
Boy, don't know when to quit.
Resi Ramona means that the gender of the name is irrelevant. We all come from Charlie Ray.
But why am I here?
Grandpa Charles cleans her glasses and places them back on her face.
It seems that our dear Charles Ramon sent you here to get rid of you.
What exactly happened to Goose? Little Chaz?
Like we said, Baby Chick absorbed them, not gone. I think Baby Chick is just trying to gain full control of Charlie Ray.
But we aren't all Charlie Ray.
Sure, but we become different people as we go through life. And we're not always in control. Think Tankushala.
Douchebag Chuck looks at the cell bars and he notices writing.
These bars are covered in the same two words. Wochanje, the Lakota word for anger, and it just...
And apathy. Charlie Ray doesn't know the Lakota word for that one. It seems Baby Chick is trying to take control and revert Charlie Ray back to a state when he was ruled by anger and apathy.
She flicks the bars.
When our dad died, it felt like none of our family liked Charlie Ray. When, quite frankly, Charlie Ray was an evil asshole.
Frankie D leans back against the bars next to Douchebag Chuck.
Make any shitty decisions recently?
Your name is douchebag, douchebag.
In college, doesn't everyone make bad decisions? Doesn't everyone become kind of a douchebag?
Well, I haven't been around for the college memories, but no.
Charlie wants Baby Chick to quiet all of us eventually.
It takes a while. When one of us gets weak, it tears you down for months. Then, Baby Chick takes you.
But why Baby Chick? Sure, we were angry, sometimes apathetic, sometimes downright sociopathic as a child, but we were a child, and we were going through some shit. Why would Charlie Ray want to go back to that?
Resi Ramon shrugs. She takes a seat on the ground.
Let's stop that little shit.
Baby Chick? We can't, man.
Why not? If he can do this to us, why can't we do the same thing to him?
Dude, there's a reason he's on the other side of the bars. There is a power dynamic that isn't the same.
Then let's find out why. You said our knowledge bases are somewhat different, but like if we investigate...
We do share the same memories, at least prior to 3 years ago.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe something in the memories will help, but sure, but I mean, dude, we've tried that before.
Maybe you were missing me.
Think pretty highly of yourself.
It doesn't hurt to try.
Resi Ramon stands.
It doesn't hurt to try.
We can look at the college memories later. But I think we need to look at the memories from when we were called Baby Chick.
Baby Chick might know. He might come back.
You said it takes months of being sick before one of us is weak enough for him to absorb. And by the looks of it...
I'm next. So let's try it out.
Douchebag Chuck extends his hand to Resi Ramon. She accepts it and holds the hand of Grandpa Charles. Frankie D completes the circle. They close their eyes. A light shines on stage next to their cell. It illuminates the bedroom of a young child. Charlie Ray, age 6, walks into the room from off stage. Charlie Ray wipes tears off of his face. He carries a cordless phone in his hand. He looks at a piece of paper on his nightstand and dials a number, and he talks into the phone.
Mama, I told the cops. I didn't mean to. Dinah said that I shouldn't have, but I was scared. She said they shouldn't have talked to me without you, but no one was around. Not even Dinah. Can you come home now? Okay. I'm just in my room. I think they're all mad at me. I'm sorry. Okay. I'll stay here.
Charlie Ray hangs up the phone.
I remember this.
Me too. I wish I didn't.
This is one of the last days our sister and Mom called us Baby Chick.
I think it was because they mentioned us to the cops so many times. Mom just thought it was easier to call us Charles Ramon. And
They never remembered to call us Baby Chick again.
That's fine. We were getting too old for that name.
Charlie Ray sits on the bed. He covers his head with a pillow.
How did he become the Baby Chick that's in here?
He went through some heavy shit.
When the cops came by looking for Dad, we told them where he went, even though he said not to.
what's done is done.
But the guilt.
Dad drove drunk. That was a decision he made. It was a decision he made a lot. He hit people, big surprise. I mean, he killed the dude and paralyzed the dude's kid from the waist down. He didn't deserve to be protected.
Calm down, Frankie D.
I just don't understand why we have to dwell on something that was completely out of our control.
You mean you don't understand why we dwelled on something that was completely out of our control?
You know what I mean.
I guess you're the coping mechanism.
What does that mean?
He has a point, Frankie. You're supposedly a past life. A past life meaning someone that lived a full life unaffected by what Dad did and what we did.
We didn't do anything.
Dad drove into the river running away from those cops. We can fight about whether it was our fault, but Charlie Ray thought it was. Probably still does, eh?
They look at the young Charlie Ray crying on his bed.
It wasn't our fault he died.
Try telling a 6-year-old that.
I don't think this is going to help us. This was baby Chick at his saddest, not his angriest.
Mom?
They drop hands. The bedroom goes dark. Baby Chick walks out of the darkness and approaches the cell. He looks at douchebag Chuck.
Are you going to be a problem?
You seem to be the only problem.
Douchebag, quiet.
He can speak if he wants to.
Why are we doing this? Are you the real Charlie Ray?
Haven't you heard? We are all the real Charlie Ray. Well, parts of him.
You can just stop. You can let us all go.
Baby Chick looks to the ground before regaining eye contact with douchebag Chuck.
Once I start, I can't stop until it's done.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense, kid.
I don't know why you're here, but if you become a problem, I'm going to make it my priority to shut you up.
Baby Chick disappears into the darkness. Frankie D moves to help Resi Ramon stay standing.
Resi Ramon is getting sicker faster than usual. We should stop. I mean, all this memory bullshit is making us weak.
I'd rather make myself weaker by doing something than doing nothing at all. Hurry up, let's try again.
She grabs their hands quickly. The scene of young Charlie Ray's room illuminates next to them again. Charlie stands up to answer the door. The knocking turns to a rumbling, and the scene goes dark. They drop hands again.
Strange.
We'll just try a different one.
I think we're out of juice, my dearest douche.
Hey, just shush up. We'll try again.
They link hands. Another scene lights up next to the cell. Again, a young Charlie Ray sits by himself, this time at a school desk. He pulls on a rubber band around his wrist, snapping it repeatedly. A teacher, Miss Iron Feather, walks on stage and approaches Charlie Ray. She pulls up a seat next to him.
Charles Ramon, your mom is on her way.
My name is Chaz, Mrs. Iron Feather.
I didn't know you went by that name. Your mom didn't call you by that name on the phone.
My friends call me Chaz.
Your mom and I are going to talk with you about the friends you've been spending time with. I noticed that you've been in the office more since you started playing together at recess.
Charlie Ray shrugs.
Did your friends tell you to run into the street during recess today?
No.
Did someone else tell you to? Maybe on a dare?
No.
We have students that say your friends were telling others to run across the street. It must have been one of you.
It was me.
Why would you do that?
I just wanted to know who would do it.
They could have gotten hurt if they said yes. You could have gotten hurt.
I don't care. No one even did it anyway.
But you did it. Why did you stay on the road? Drivers don't always pay attention. They could have hit you. You might have gone to the hospital.
So what?
Mrs. Iron Feather holds her hand out to Charlie Ray, palm up. He hands her the rubber band from around his wrist, and he rubs his wrist.
I told you to stop hurting your wrist like this. Where did you even get this rubber band?
The office. I'm always there.
Your mom must be here.
She stands up to answer the door somewhere off stage. Charlie Ray puts his head down on the desk as the scene goes dark. The four drop hands again.
Super helpful, guys.
Grandpa Charles pats Resi Ramon on her back.
I didn't remember it going that way.
I remember running across the road, but we didn't just stop in the middle of the street, right?
Well, Charlie Ray sure was self-destructive. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it suicidal. Can an 8-year-old be suicidal?
We were in a lot of pain, needed distractions.
They thought we were spaz. Had ADD or some shit like that. But we didn't, just had a lot of energy. Kind of rugged about it, though.
I don't think it's a coincidence that we tried to get out of the car when Dad was just straight up killed someone with a car and paralyzed the kid. I'm just saying.
I have an idea.
I used to be the idea man, you know.
Your name was probably Ikdomi before it was Frankie D. McQueen, so quiet down.
Oh, next.
If we can't even properly remember certain memories revolving around cars and roads, then maybe it's because we know it's a source of
Trauma.
Look, if you let me be frank for a second.
Shit.
Look, Dad did basically kill someone with the car, but we weren't there. I mean, why would it matter to us? We've driven a car for years, no problem. I'm not trying to be an ass, but I know if this is the type of thinking, this is not the type of thinking that's going to help us stop Baby Chick.
you saw the darkness in little Charlie Ray's eyes, the almost lack of caring. Maybe Baby Chick has always been capable of this. Something just set him off.
So we keep looking and see what set him off.
A rumble quiets everyone down. Baby Chick emerges from the darkness and approaches the cell.
I'm not an idiot. I can feel you meddling around. I don't know what you think you're doing, what you're going to find, but
Why did you absorb little Chaz and Goose? Why can't you just leave us alone?
Baby Chick kicks the bars.
because they were weak. Just like the rest of you, all so weak and confused.
Then make us less confused.
It doesn't matter now.
Baby Chick looks at Resi Ramon.
I'll see you soon.
Baby Chick retreats into the darkness as Act 1 ends. Lights out. Act 2. Scene. 3 of them pace around the cell as Resi Ramon fans herself on the floor.
You're right, Frankie D. I don't think I'm going to last much longer.
That's why we should stop.
Douchebag Chuck sits down next to Resi Ramon.
Do you want to stop? The 3 of us can take it from here.
Resi Ramon shakes her head and stands. Douchebag Chuck stands with her.
Shit, man. I think these memories look more clear when we all try, you know? I don't know, but if I'm going to go anyway, I want to go making sure one of you guys makes it.
Grandpa Charles and Frankie D give Resi Ramon a hug.
We're going to make sure that you make it too. Okay, lady?
Resi Ramon pushes him.
Yeah, sure.
They link hands, and another scene lights up next to the cell. An older Charlie Ray, the one seen at the beginning of Act 1, sits on the ground back against a wall. Charlie Ray looks towards the sound before burying his head in his arms.
What is this? Holy shit!
The 4 of them lean forward in pain, hands still connected.
Do you feel that?
Hell yeah!
It feels like I'm going to be sick.
What even is that?
I think we're feeling what Charlie Ray felt at that moment. What we all felt at that moment.
Feels shitty.
I can't remember who was knocking.
Uncle Martin.
He was drunk, and Mom said to make sure he didn't come in, or he'd steal stuff and not remember. Probably leave the stove on again.
We were, I think, 15. And it was easy to ignore the knocking, but Uncle Martin was really persistent. And we went home alone. He kept knocking on all the windows. We had to keep quiet or he would know for sure that someone was in the house. Some headphones would have come in handy.
It was the alcohol.
The 4 of them drop hands. The scene outside the cell goes dark.
What do you mean?
Charlie Ray is scared of being around drunk people. Or he was, at least. I don't know now. Don't know shit about now.
I think we're good on that front now.
Then why did we all feel so shitty thinking back on that memory, huh, Kaz?
We had a different mindset then. We were younger.
Whatever you say, man.
This memory felt incomplete in my mind. I'd like to go back.
Grandpa Charles takes the hands of Frankie D and Resi Ramon. Douchebag Chuck seems reluctant, but completes the circle. The scene lights up again. Charlie Ray listens to the knocking. He can hear the voice of Uncle Martin, too. His words are slurred.
Goose! Goose, are you there?
Charlie Ray puts his hands over his ears.
Can you let me in, man? It's cold out here.
Offstage are the sounds of footsteps and then a thud. Then coughing. Charlie Ray stands up and looks around. He exits the stage toward the sound.
Lexi?
Douchebag Chuck pulls his hands away fast. The other three are taken aback.
Dude, what's your deal?
I don't want to see that. None of us need to see that.
You remember the rest? I do somewhat. It's fuzzy. Uncle Martin passed out.
He was lying on the porch on his back, wrecked.
Just tell us the rest, douchebag Chuck.
I'd rather not.
Frankie D walks to Douchebag Chuck, grabbing his head. Douchebag Chuck freezes, and after a few moments, Frankie D drops his hands.
So he was choking on his own vomit. We turned him on his side, cleared his pathway. He was fine.
That's why the memory felt shitty.
The closer we get to college, the more we're going to have to rely on you, Chuck. You can't give us half-truths.
Yeah, man.
This was your idea. We need you all in.
Fine. I just didn't see the point in showing you all if you didn't need to see it.
It was important, clearly. Charlie Ray has some guilt over that. He felt responsible, kind of like how he felt responsible for Dad's death.
Honestly, I'm getting a little tired of feeling guilt over things that aren't our fault.
But Charlie Ray can't separate the two. Not entirely. And it seems like Baby Chick can't at all. He said little Chaz and Goose were weak. Maybe that guilt was their weakness. And he thinks ignoring and suppressing it will make it go away. That he'll be stronger after we're not around to feel those shitty feelings.
We still don't know what caused him to start getting rid of us, though.
Then we go again.
Well, I'm tired of beating around the bush. I say we go to the last memory we all have before we got stuck in this place.
I agree.
Douchebag Chuck nods. They all join hands again. The next scene is also an older Charlie Ray. He's packing a bag in his room.
When we were 18.
This is the last thing I remember.
Misha.
Charlie Ray zips up a duffel bag before tossing another empty one onto his bed. In walks Dinah, Charlie Ray's older sister. She leans against a nearby wall and watches Charlie Ray pack.
Mom won't say it, but I will.
Say what?
You're being an ass.
Okay, how am I being an ass?
You said you were going to spend your last summer before college at home. She was really looking forward to it. And honestly, I kind of was too. I get it that you don't like it here.
You don't get it.
I do.
No, you don't.
We grew up in the same place. We have the same dad, the same history.
But you didn't have to go to school with him.
With who?
That level of blissful ignorance is part of why you don't really understand.
Then please explain it to me.
I'm talking about Luke.
Dinah closes her eyes and nods.
I forgot that you were in the same class.
Not just the same grade. This is a small res, Dinah. I see him everywhere. He lives 2 blocks away.
But that's in the past.
The dude can't walk. That's right here in the present.
But that's not your fault. That's Dad's. He drove drunk, and that's on him.
It's not exactly how everyone sees it.
Old people hold grudges. But I know that Luke doesn't think we're responsible. That doesn't even make sense. Just because we're related to him, no offense to our fam, but quite a few of them have done some fucked up shit. I don't exactly feel like I'm at fault for their mistakes.
This wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. It was a series of choices he had to take in order to end up on that road at that time when Luke and his dad were walking back from the powwow.
But none of those choices had anything to do with you. And you know how Luke feels about people pitying him?
I don't pity him. It's just, what if I could have stopped it?
None of us knew where Dad was half the time. We could only hide his keys in so many places. And we were kids. It wasn't up to us. It wasn't up to Mom. Dad only did what Dad wanted to do.
None of it matters now anyway.
You could still stay. Mom says you don't even really want this internship. Spend some time with us. Spend time with friends. You graduated 9 days ago.
Charlie Ray sits down. Dinah sits next to him.
Do you remember what you were doing the day it happened?
Yeah. Me and Mom were at the powwow. She was talking to Auntie Darla about making you a little star quilt for when you finish kindergarten. Then they were gossiping for a while. Yeah, we split an Indian taco because the vendors were really trying to hit it with those washichu prices. She bought a medallion to wear at Uncle Martin's wedding. I don't remember much after that. There were a few carnival rides. We rode the Ferris wheel. I was too scared to ride any of the faster rides. What about you? Do you remember?
Yeah, I met up with Jeremy and Oliver. We went on some rides. Jeremy was dancing at the powwow. I think I was in the grand entry, but I don't remember seeing you and Mom there.
Like I said, you were just a kid. Memory wasn't strong.
Charlie Ray sits up. He begins digging through his duffel bag. Slower now.
I remember going to school after that day. Luke was gone for a while. A part of me hoped he wouldn't come back. Not that he wouldn't be okay. I don't know. I was hoping he'd transfer somewhere else or even get homeschooled, just gone. I didn't want to see what he looked like, a reminder of what Dad did. Even though Dad was dead, a part of the damage he caused would always be with me. Every day I'd see it. How do you tell your classmate that you're sorry your dad killed his dad?
I don't know.
Neither did I, so I never did.
But that's okay.
I never even grieved Dad. I didn't feel like I could. Like, if someone is bad, do they deserve to be missed? I can see why you would think it wasn't my fault what happened to Luke, but what happened to Dad, that was my fault.
Dinah doesn't know how to respond.
For months, you were just so mean. The things you said. I haven't seen that type of cruelty in you or anyone else ever since. I get it. You were just a kid too. But I think kids know more than adults realize, because if I hadn't told the cops where Dad was, he would at least still be alive, in prison for sure, but alive. Even if I could push aside what happened to Luke and his dad, there will always be that.
But there doesn't have to be.
Maybe, but for now there is.
Charlie pulls up the duffel bags.
Jeremy is giving me a ride to the train station in an hour. I'm gonna go say bye to Mom.
Charlie Ray exits the stage and the scene goes dark. Resi Ramon falls to the ground, clutching her chest.
Holy shit, did you guys feel that?
Feel what?
It's like someone stabbed me in the heart.
Resi Ramon slowly stands up, taking deep breaths.
Weird as hell.
Little Chaz and Goose didn't feel like that.
Let's just hurry up and review what we've learned while Resi Ramon is still here. Damn it.
Calm down, dude.
I'm the calmest one here.
Right, man.
What did we learn exactly?
I'm not sure.
He talked about Luke a lot, but there really hasn't been any sign of Luke so far. That particular memory wasn't blurry. I mean, anyone else?
Clear as day.
I just want to know why it hit me like a damn truck, but it didn't hit any of you.
It seems like Baby Chick is talking to Dinah and Charlie Ray's words are twisting them. Dinah says everything that happened isn't our fault, but Charlie Ray seems to be against that idea. How do you guys feel about all of this?
You know how I feel about it. It wasn't our fault. I don't believe in guilt by association.
I felt bad, but I felt like we would move on eventually.
I felt similar.
And I honestly hadn't thought too hard about it. Granted, I haven't been here very long. Do either of you feel any sort of guilt?
Sure, but not enough to warrant setting off Baby Chick. I also don't hold much animosity towards Dinah.
Yeah, I mean, well, the lady takes forever to answer important text messages, but otherwise, she's cool.
I feel like my problems with Dinah might run a little deeper, but not enough to be all some way about it, though.
I'm all in now. So, my dearest douche, you are the only one who has memories of the past 3 years. The ball's in your court.
College life is college life. Gained a lot of weight for a while. There was that. I made friends. Had some weird roommates.
Did you drink?
As in get drunk.
Well, clearly.
Get all wasted or what?
I drink from time to time.
The others nod their heads, look of disappointment on their faces.
Everyone drinks in college.
We said we wouldn't.
Really gotta be that drunk Indian, huh?
I'm not a drunk Indian.
Probably not what your drinking buddies thought.
They were drunk too.
And how many of them were Indian?
Douchebag Chuck goes quiet.
That's what I thought, Holmes.
Just recreationally, every now and then, right?
Hell yeah, I don't go off. And I know other Indians who drink and they're just fine.
We aren't scared to drink because we think we're going to be drunks. At least not just that. Something's there, though. I fucking woke up here with a 40 in my hand. But it's more than that. We feel shitty when we're around people who drink.
She puts her hand over her chest and another over her head.
Here.
I didn't know what else to do.
Well, show us then.
Show you what?
The first time you drank, that is. I mean, the first time you went and got all Oh, crunk.
Fucking blank.
Maybe something useful will come up.
Fine. Just give me a minute.
Douchebag Chuck walks around the cell rubbing his hands together. He flicks the bars a few times and blows air through his nose. He holds the bars, looks at the space outside the cell and concentrates. A scene starts to light outside the cell, but it goes out. Douchebag Chuck drops his hands from the bars.
I don't know what to tell you.
Hiding something, douche?
No, I don't know. Not strong enough.
Maybe we can help.
Grandpa Charles motions for the others to take Douchebag Chuck's hands. They form a closed circle.
We don't even have a memory to think about.
Don't focus on that. Just think about giving strength to Chuck.
The space outside the cell lights up. It's Charlie Ray standing by himself in a corner. Music plays faintly from the party he's attending. In his hand rests a cup. Charlie Ray looks into it.
What's he doing?
We're thinking.
Charlie Ray moves the cup from hand to hand.
He doesn't seem interested.
We weren't.
Charlie Ray takes a drink from the cup.
Why did he do it then?
We didn't know.
Charlie Ray makes a face after taking a gulp of the beer. He swiftly chugs the rest of it. A ringing sound blares in the cell and everyone drops their hands. The scene goes dark. The four of them are pushed backwards. After a few moments, they recuperate. Resi Ramon is getting weaker. She has to lean against the bars to stay upright.
That was it.
That was what?
The day Baby Chick locked everyone in here.
It's the day we became aware.
Why would something like that set him off?
Because for us, booze is death. Don't you get it, you little shit? So much of our life was tainted by it. Our mom had to deal with alcoholics for most of her life, including Dad. But it wasn't just Dad. It was Uncle Martin. It was Grandma. It was our cousins. I don't give a shit if everyone at college drank. We didn't want to, and we shouldn't have.
So you're saying that Baby Chick started taking over because we had a drink?
I'm not saying that. I can see it, though. For so much of our life, we thought a part of us was bad. If Dad could kill a dude and paralyze a kid and act like nothing happened, what did that mean about us? That we carried the DNA of someone so evil, someone so fucking dark, we were bad. Would we be bad one day? We always thought a part of us was waiting to wake up and cause pain, and that part of us was Baby Chick, and that cheap beer was enough to wake him up. It's kept him strong and us weak.
Resi Ramon stops talking when they hear a rumble in the darkness and then footsteps. She holds onto the bars but falls to the ground, her back against the bars. Her head droops to the side as Baby Chick emerges from the darkness.
No, it's too soon. Leave her alone.
Frankie D rushes to Resi Ramon. Baby Chick kneels behind her on the other side of the bars. He reaches through the bars and grabs Frankie D's arm. Frankie D falls over in pain. Douchebag Chuck rushes to his side.
Don't let Baby Chick touch you. He steals your strength.
Baby Chick puts his hand on Resi Ramon's shoulder. The lights start to flicker. Douchebag Chuck rushes to the bars and pushes Baby Chick's hand away. Baby Chick reaches through the bars and grabs Douchebag Chuck's arm.
That's impossible.
Nothing happens. Baby Chick grabs Douchebag Chuck with both hands. Nothing. Instead, Douchebag Chuck breaks from his grip. He grabs Baby Chick with both hands. Suddenly, Douchebag Chuck falls back. Baby Chick grabs Resi Ramon's shoulder. The lights flicker and go out. After a few moments, they turn back on. Resi Ramon is gone. Baby Chick is standing upright outside of the cell. Douchebag Chuck is rocking on the floor. Frankie D and Grandpa Charles lean down next to him.
She's gone.
Baby Chick turns to walk away. He looks back.
Won't be long now.
He continues into the darkness.
What the hell was that?
When he touches you, it hurts. I mean, he steals the strength. Your strength makes you weak. Only lasts for a few moments, though. I mean, otherwise, he'd grab all of us instead of waiting months for us to weaken.
But the timeline has clearly sped up.
She didn't even last a day.
Douchebag Chuck sits back against the cage. The other two help him stand up.
I think I understand now.
Understand what?
Frankie D buries his face in his hands. He looks up at Douchebag Chuck.
Why didn't it work on you? He seemed surprised when he touched you.
I don't know, but when I touched him, I felt it.
What did you feel?
I felt...
He covers his eyes for a few seconds.
I felt all the pain, the guilt, the shame. So much shame. We thought he was getting rid of us because we held guilt for what happened. We were so wrong. Because he holds all of it. He's pure guilt and rage. I couldn't stand feeling it for a few seconds. And he's felt it for years. Everything he's done to little Chaz and Goose and Rezi and Ramon, it's because he doesn't know anything else. He's spiraling and he doesn't think he can stop.
How can we get him to stop?
More importantly, why is everyone getting sick so much faster?
Douchebag Chuck wipes a few tears from his face.
The same reason why I'm here. It's Mom.
She okay?
I don't know. She's in the hospital. Holy shit! How could I forget that? It's why everything has accelerated. If we lose Mom...
It's like we lose everything.
She's been there for everything. I don't know why Charlie Ray would send me here. To get rid of me too?
Well, if we're going with your talk of coping mechanism and trauma, it makes sense. I mean, if Baby Chick is in full control, then the real Charlie Ray, the Charlie Ray that is all of us, doesn't have to deal with losing Mom too.
Sometimes people become comfortable with their anger, with their sadness. In a way, losing that is just another loss. And it's a loss they don't want to deal with.
And Charlie Ray has sure gotten comfortable with his guilt. We've gotten comfortable with our guilt, even if we don't realize it.
It doesn't make any sense that he would send you here to be absorbed by Baby Chick. Why make you immune to his touch?
We should figure that out quick.
We will.
I mean, really quick.
Douchebag Chuck and Grandpa Charles turn to Frankie D.
You're not the only one who isn't feeling so hot, Gramps.
Lights out. Act 3. Scene. Douchebag Chuck and Grandpa Charles tend to Frankie D.
We need to act now.
He grabs Frankie D's hand. He motions to Grandpa Charles and she closes the circle.
We're looking at the moment Charlie Ray decided to send me here.
You can do that?
We're going to find out.
The space outside the cell lights up. Charlie Ray and Dinah enter the scene, which contains filing cabinets, boxes, and a footlocker. They smudge the room. They put away the sage. Charlie Ray picks up a box, setting it on a small cabinet and opening it, and he begins rummaging through the box.
Why did Mom put the flash drive in the basement? It's not exactly user-friendly.
Dinah digs through another box before pulling out a drawer in the filing cabinet.
Even with her best preparation, I don't think she anticipated collapsing at the grocery store while picking up eggs.
Charlie Ray gives her a look, but doesn't push further. Dinah is clearly upset.
She's going to be okay, you know.
We don't know that for sure. She might not be okay. Why do you think we're looking for this damn flash drive?
Dinah discreetly wipes her face. Maybe a tear. Maybe just dust from the basement.
Dinah, I know the last time you guys talked, you had a fight.
She shifts to a plastic bin popping off the top.
It's not much different than most of our talks before that.
That's not true.
I know it may be hard for you to understand, Charlie Ray, the impressive Charles Ramon, her perfect little baby chick who could do no wrong. To her, I've been wrong a long time.
She never thought that.
Let's just drop it and find this thing.
Charlie Ray continues to browse. He finds something.
Hey, look.
He holds up a piece of cardboard. It has letters glued to it, likely cut out from a magazine.
My Ouija board. Mom said she threw this out. Should I try it?
Hell no.
Charlie Ray throws it to the side.
I never even got to use it before.
Because it was stupid and dangerous, and you and your friends should never have made it.
I think that's exactly what Mom said.
Yeah, well, Mom had a lot of sense with stuff like that.
She has a lot of sense.
Dinah nods.
I'm not sure about some of her other views, though.
Oh, come on. You know she never had a problem with you being a lesbian.
You remember how she reacted to the first girl I dated?
Dinah, it wasn't that she was a she.
He looks around the empty room as if to check for listeners. He leans forward.
She was white.
She was fine. She was nice, for the most part.
and she was white.
What about the one after her?
Well, she was a crow.
Shut up.
The truth is that one day you guys started arguing and you never entirely stopped. Why was that?
Dinah goes through a metal box full of keys.
There really wasn't one incident. I'm not even sure if I'm being honest, but none of that matters.
Dinah pulls up a flash drive.
Here it is. We should,
Dinah goes quiet. She covers her face with one hand while the other holds the flash drive.
Charlie Ray, what if she doesn't wake up? I mean, I can't remember the last thing I said to her. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. It was probably boring. I can't remember the last time I said I loved her. What if I don't get the chance to?
Charlie Ray takes the flash drive out of her hand and he sits next to her.
I don't really remember the exact thing I said to her either, but that doesn't matter because she's going to be okay. And even if she wasn't, she knows. She knows.
Dinah takes the flash drive back.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I thought it was kind of morbid that she wrote down things like funeral plans on here.
Yeah, well, she was a planner, but never quite got that will arranged.
I mean, I guess it's for us. She always wanted us to be prepared, just in case. But I'm so scared. I think part of the reason we fight is that, I don't know, I think I'm never going to be able to live up to what she wanted for us, what she worked so hard to give us. Because she worked really hard, you know? I feel like after she's gone, whenever that happens, there won't be a trace of that work left. No one will know how great she really was.
We'll know. Everyone who knows her will know. Hell, everyone who knows us will know. That's the thing, Dinah. Mom's impact on this world, it's you, it's even me. I've been a bit of a douchebag since going to college, but a part of me knows that I will always come back to how Mom taught us to be. Because in the end, that's what she's always wanted. And I think you know that. She knew how important it was to just be who we are.
Dinah nods.
You're talking a lot of sense, kid. You actually sound a lot like Mom.
She talks through both of us sometimes.
After a few beats, Dinah's cell phone rings.
Hello? Yeah, that's me. What, really?
She pushes on Charlie Ray's arm.
Yeah, we can be there soon, thank you.
Dinah hangs up the phone.
Charlie Ray, she's awake. Mom's awake.
Charlie Ray loses his composure a bit.
I knew she would be.
Dinah exits the stage. Charlie Ray looks around at the empty space around him. Suddenly, he looks at the cell as if he can see the others trapped behind the bars. He makes a decision. He stands up and walks in the same direction as Dinah. The three of them drop hands.
That was weird.
It doesn't quite track.
The opposite of what I was thinking.
Good old Charlie Ray seemed very well adjusted, especially considering the last conversation we saw between him and Dinah.
He didn't seem to. He didn't send me here to be suppressed.
He created you to stop Baby Chick.
Ah, shit. That's why he can't hurt you when he touches you.
Because he couldn't hurt me. I was able to grab him. I felt what he felt. Maybe Charlie Ray wanted me to know that. It's like Mom being in the hospital made him realize something.
He knew Baby Chick was taking over, and he didn't want that. He didn't want to be consumed by his anger and his pain.
But he knew he didn't want Baby Chick to suppress all of us.
Why are we getting weak so fast? First, Resi Ramon's decline happened at an accelerated rate. Now Frankie D and I are both getting sick at the same time.
It must be in reaction to good old douchebag here.
I don't think so. He clearly chose, well, the douchiest part of himself to put a stop to Baby Chick.
Because your part is that of an uncaring douche?
I'm getting a little tired of that word.
No, that must be part of it. But something else is missing.
Well, I mean, where else would we look? I mean, with you, we have access to all of Charlie Ray's memories.
Douchebag Chuck nods. Grandpa Charles loses balance for a second.
I don't think so. When we were looking at some of the earlier memories, Baby Chick interrupted. We couldn't see past those moments of interruption.
You think he's keeping something from us?
We've seen that even some of the memories we all know have been warped by time. Maybe he was able to take advantage of that and lock a few away.
Damn schemer.
We have to access the memories he has.
He doesn't seem like the hand-holding type.
What if we got a piece of him?
Are either of you prepared to bite off a finger?
Not that.
One of the buttons on his baseball cap.
Exactly.
Frankie D picks up a glass bottle from the ground and starts hitting the bars.
Baby chick, hey, baby chick, you little shit.
That's one way to do it.
These.
Baby Chick walks out of the darkness, footsteps heavy. He approaches the cell.
What the hell do you want? Just wanted to ask you a question. Why did little Chaz and Goose get months before you took them? Resi Ramon only got what, an hour? Furthermore, why are Gramps and I both sick at the same time? And in conclusion, fuck you.
Baby Chick lunges, reaching through the bars. He grabs Frankie D.
Ah!
Grandpa Charles and Douchebag Chuck push at Baby Chick's arms and his head. Baby Chick eventually moves back away from the cell, riding his cap.
I may not be able to see what you're doing, but it's not going to last for much longer. You think Resi Ramon had little time? Oh, just you wait.
Baby Chick grips the bars and closes his eyes. Grandpa Charles and Frankie D grasp their stomachs in pain. Frankie D falls to the ground.
Stop. Baby Chick.
Douchebag Chuck runs at the bars and pushes Baby Chick away.
It won't be long now. Not long at all.
Baby Chick walks into the darkness. When he's out of sight, Douchebag Chuck pulls a button out of his pocket.
Got it.
I don't know, man.
They give Frankie D a few moments to compose himself. Douchebag Chuck rolls the button in his hand as Grandpa Charles puts a hand on his shoulder.
Baby Chick is getting too strong.
No, we can do this.
They relent. Douchebag Chuck holds the button out. The other two grip it with their thumbs. They falter a bit in pain. The space next to the cell lights up, revealing a 6-year-old Charlie Ray sitting next to Baby Chick. Baby Chick is wearing the same clothes, including his cap.
Shit, this hurts. Why is Baby Chick next to Charlie Ray?
Charlie Ray sits frozen. Baby Chick moves a steering wheel in his hands.
I'm just gonna drop you off at the powwow. You ain't gonna tell anyone about the dog we hit. No!
That's not Baby Chick.
It's Dad.
From his seat, Charlie Ray looks to Dad.
That wasn't a dog, Dad. That was people. They were people.
It was just a damn dog. Fuckers around here don't know how to chain them up like they're supposed to.
In the cell, the three of them exchange looks.
I don't remember this at all.
Neither do I.
We were in the car. When Dad hit Luke and his dad, we were there.
He took us back to the powwow. He told us not to tell anyone, and we didn't. Even when we told the police where Dad was hiding, we didn't tell them we were in the car.
Dad, we should call help.
Just a dog.
The scene goes dark. In the cell, they drop the button. Grandpa Charles and Frankie D lean against the bars.
I think the only memory we're getting out of that, I think that's the one.
Charlie Ray was in the car. How could we forget that?
How the hell do we forget that Baby Chick looks exactly like Dad? That he looks like Dad on the day it happened.
He must have hidden that. Not even I could remember that. He might not even know it either.
Charlie Ray sure is going through it.
I'd say he manifested what he considers the bad part of himself as Dad. I'm sure psychologists would love that.
I don't know how we can stop him or make him see sense.
Why don't you try grabbing him?
I'm not eager for him to come back right now.
He was able to weaken us just by touching the bars. I don't know if it's possible to make him stop at this point.
One thing I don't understand is why he's gotten so powerful so fast. Just when Charlie Ray wants Baby Chick to stop, he decides to double down. Why? The dude is pure trauma, but his increased strength doesn't quite track.
Well, douchebag Chuck, I hope you can figure it out.
Frankie D slides down the bars until he's sitting on the ground.
I don't think I'm gonna be around much longer.
Grandpa Charles joins him on the ground. She rests her shoulder against his.
Same goes for me.
No, you guys, stand up. We're not done.
They close their eyes and their heads loll to the side.
I can't do this on my own. I can't do this without you.
Douchebag Chuck shakes their shoulders. They don't open their eyes.
No.
He sits next to them. He looks up at the empty space and then at the bars. He stands up
No?
He grabs the bars and concentrates. The lights around the cell grow a little brighter. Douchebag Chuck is straining himself. The two on the floor soon open their eyes. Douchebag Chuck lets go of the bars.
What did you do?
I don't know. I just wanted you guys to get stronger, and I made it happen.
The reverse of Baby Chick's power.
Douchebag Chuck helps them up.
I guess so.
The lights dim a bit before returning to normal. They hear the familiar footsteps of Baby Chick. He reaches the cell.
What did you just do?
I fixed them.
Baby Chick looks at the other two in the cell before returning his gaze to Douchebag Chuck.
They can't be fixed. None of us can.
He hesitates.
None of you can. I just need you gone.
But none of them are gone. The ones you've taken, they're still with you. You just pushed them down.
As far as I'm concerned, they're gone.
But they're not.
You really just can't shut up, can you? Always talking. That's why I have to get rid of you.
Because I talk?
Because you'll tell.
Tell what?
Don't be dumb. I know. You all do. It was only a matter of time. I should have shut you all up faster. Is this really over what Dad did? We were just a damn kid. I'm done talking.
Just answer this. How are you so much stronger now that I'm here?
It has nothing to do with you.
Care to elaborate?
I said I'm done.
Baby Chick walks away. He doesn't get far. Douchebag Chuck grabs his arm and slams him backwards into the cell's bars. He reaches out and grabs Baby Chick's other arm, trapping his back against the bars.
Grab onto me.
But
Just do it.
Frankie D and Grandpa Charles hold onto Douchebag Chuck's shoulders. They're all facing the space outside the cell as it lights up, including Baby Chick, who struggles to get free. 6-year-old Charlie Ray sits on his bed, still waiting for his mom.
You see, we were just a child.
shut up.
This time, Charlie Ray is able to get to the door. He opens it. On the other side is Resi Ramon. Charlie Ray runs into her arms and she holds him.
What's Resi Ramon doing here?
Nope, not Resi Ramon.
It's Mom.
Charlie Ray ends the hug. He walks to his bed and sits, and Mom sits next to him.
What did Dinah say to you?
She said I killed Dad.
You didn't. Do you hear me? You didn't do anything wrong. Dinah's just sad. I think we all are.
Why does she have to be so mean to me?
She's your big sister. They're always mean. But she shouldn't be saying that. I'm going to talk to her.
Please don't. She's just gonna get madder.
Mom hugs him from the side.
Your dad made a lot of mistakes. Big mistakes. And he's going to be remembered that way. But I want you to remember him how you want. You don't have to forget the bad, but remember the good too.
I just remember bad right now.
And that's okay. Just know that I love you. Dinah loves you. And your dad loved you.
Okay.
The scene goes dark. Baby Chick falls to the ground outside of the cell, tears on his face. He stands up but keeps his head lowered.
I knew!
You knew what?
Baby Chick looks up before looking back down.
I knew Dad was drunk. I knew he would be driving. I was too scared to say anything. Dude, it wasn't our responsibility. It wasn't your responsibility. It wasn't our responsibility. But I knew I should have told him to stop the car, not even to get in the car. I could have just found Mom and told her. Luke's dad would still be alive. Luke would still be able to walk.
You can't think like that.
It wasn't up to us. I was scared. I was scared you'd find out. I was scared you'd find out it was my fault. That Dina or Mom would find out it was my fault.
It wasn't our fault.
Dina was right. What if we can't live up to everything that Mom gave us?
That's why Resi Ramon became sick so fast, isn't it? It's not that we were looking at memories. It's because Mom is sick right now. Charlie Ray knew that when it was time for Resi Ramon to leave, the rest would follow quickly. That's why he sent me.
I couldn't stop. I don't know why. I mean, I thought maybe I was just meant to be more of the bad that Dad left in the world. Getting rid of Resi Ramon just made the inevitable happen faster.
Charlie Ray sent me here to stop you. I didn't know what that meant before, but I think I do now. It's not just to stop you, it's to help you. Baby chick, you're not bad. None of us are bad.
I know who I look like.
We are not our father. If anything, the fact that Resi Ramon proved to be crucial to the structure of this place should be proof enough that so much of us comes from Mom. The part of us that's always trying to practice the same amount of compassion and understanding as she does.
It's safe to say I failed.
We didn't fail. Resi Ramon wasn't just Mom. She was our cultural identity.
I have a feeling it's been a while since we've been to a ceremony.
I get why you want to get rid of that too. Being in pain and being Lakota, we still have trouble untangling the two, don't we? Sometimes we think that if we weren't Indian, then we wouldn't have to carry so much shit with us all the time. But it's who we are. We can't change that.
I don't even know if I'm worthy of that identity, that community.
We are. You wear Dad's face. But I think you'll find it's Mom who's always with us. Even when we didn't know it. The part of you that knows what you're doing right now isn't the right thing to do, that's her. And this hurts you're carrying. You don't have to carry it alone. We're all still here. You just have to let us be.
I don't know how I can ever be forgiven for what Dad did, for Dad dying, for everything.
First, we have to forgive ourselves.
Don't you see, baby chick? We are not Dad's stain on this earth. We are Mom's legacy.
You may be right.
Let's prove it right.
Baby Chick looks at Douchebag Chuck's outstretched hand. He accepts it. The lights around them flicker and go out. When they come back on, the bars are gone. Baby Chick is gone. All that remains is a wide open space on which stands Grandpa Charles, Frankie D, and Douchebag Chuck.
Where did he go? Where did the damn bars go?
Douchebag Chuck puts his hand on his heart.
I have him. I have all of them. Resi Ramon, Goose, Little Chaz, and Baby Chick. They're all here with me. With us.
What do we do now?
I think everything is good for now. I think we can all just be.
Shit. That's fine by me.
Douchebag Chuck extends his hand out. Grandpa Charles and Frankie D put their hands on top of his.
I'll see you guys around.
The scene goes dark. Final scene. Charlie Ray awakens and sits up in bed. He checks the phone next to his bed. He dials a number and waits for an answer.
Hi, Mom. How are you feeling? I slept okay, just the usual dark thoughts. Yeah, me and Dinah are gonna visit you in a few hours. What's that? Yeah, I did want to talk about something, but I think I'll wait until you feel better. It's important, but not urgent.
Charlie Ray listens for a few moments, trying to gather courage.
Oh no, it's okay. I'm feeling fine. And I think I'm gonna be okay.
End of play.
I've just been interested in writing in different formats for a long time, and I work with. I'm from South Dakota, but I currently go to grad school in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, and there's a native theater group there called New Native Theater, and they sort of just got me into playwriting specifically. I mostly do media work for them, so I don't actually write for them, but I was just very interested in that creative space and trying it out. So.
Yeah, so I think my friend is the vice president of the Native American Student Union here, and I was wondering if you guys have done anything with them, because they bring in speakers from, actually specifically from film and television all the time.
What's their name?
Her name is Mesa Chase.
No, but if you could connect us, because this is the second time USC has had a play,
Really, yeah.
a stage reading.
That would be
So
great.
it'd
I'll
be
definitely let
really-
her know, because they bring in like Indigenous actors all the time to talk about their films, and I've been to several events that have been kind of just like this. So I think that'd be a really cool opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yes, I was just kind of curious in terms of the multiple identities. And so can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, just in terms of all of the cells we carry around and kind of how they develop over time, kind of how you thought about that?
Yeah, so it was kind of just a throwaway line, but they mentioned code switching, and that was like a huge launching point, just because we think about how when our friends see us in a different environment and they're like, wow, you talk weird, you have a different energy, and that's not like being fake, it's just, not all the time, it's not like being fake, it's just, you kind of know which part of you can handle what situation and what's appropriate. And more specifically, I guess with this, I thought of it in terms of myself, kind of a personal origin. I mentioned to everyone that when I was a teenager at a certain program I went to, people called me Panda, and I didn't stop them, I just let them. And sometimes Grandpa Lennixx, just because I was a very cautious teenager. And those kind of manifested within the play. And that made me think about not only code switching, but who you are at different points in your life, and which of those you carry with you, and which are kind of detrimental and which are not. So that was my thought process on those.
The subject matter is so needed right now, where we're at in society right now, to be dialoguing about this. So I appreciate that you had the courage to write it, and we had the space to have it happen.
And to Lavana for letting us take over your class.
Yeah.
Love it.
Now, I'm just really curious about how you all found each other. I think sometimes we take for granted like that all these connections get made, but we just had a situation where some people maybe who could be in the room aren't. So if you could tell us a little bit about how you all found each other.
Last year we did a play, right? In regards to the play, stage reading, we had chosen a play that we were familiar with, and I was familiar with, and the playwright I've known for 30 years. And so she helped cast it, so it was all native cast, and everybody was available. So for this, we wanted an all native cast, but everyone's working. And Dylan even
Wasn't working.
No. He canceled a gig to do this. That's how much he really loved the screenplay. And so we just put it out there. We just put a casting call out there, and I called all of our native actors, and everybody is working, which that's a happy dance, right? That's a good thing. But so that's how it just came about, and these actors just said, I'll do it. And Jackie and I have known each other, and she's helping with the festival as well. She's one of our associate producers and my assistant on some cases. And then we had a submission process this year. We thought, instead of just picking, someone that we know or whatever, let's make this like not a contest, but just a submission process. So we had 9 plays entered, and Aubrey just kept saying, this play. And it was like, yeah. So that's how it came about. And all these guys are just so gorgeous, and the courage and the willingness to be vulnerable and, support.
And I just want to add that Akshay is an SDA alum, the School of Dramatic Arts alum.
Oh, I didn't know.
So he got his casting call through one of our partners, Paula Sismar, at the School of Dramatic Arts. And big shout out to Grandpa Charles, who
So
who got volunteered this morning.
Yeah. So we've created a star. No. And did really well. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I wanted to mention that I learned about this from a few people. One was Rihanna Yazzie, who's a Navajo playwright. She founded New Native Theater in Minneapolis. She kind of let everybody know, but also a friend of mine named John Little, who's Dakota, and he is currently the program director of the Indian University of North America, which is a summer collegiate program for those Native students who are about to start college, most first generation. So I learned about this from them. And also, I learned about it as a writer. I'm not a performer. I just want you guys to know that,
And you did
in case
great.
it wasn't obvious.
Yeah.
All right.
Created another star here. Yeah.
So my favorite part of the reading or the play was how memory was portrayed, that it was very fragmented and you didn't really have the full story until all the characters came together and used their composite memory, the memory of their communities, to tell a story. I think that's everyone here can relate to that. And how did you come to decide that you wanted to tell the story that way, with time, morphing constantly? Because that's a very unique choice, I think.
Yeah. So it's kind of heavy. I thought about how trauma can affect memory, and how I don't know a lot about psychology. Like, I want to also throw that out there, that I don't know if this coincides with anything or is ridiculous in the name of anything. But I know there's this thing where sometimes containment can happen within our memories. Whenever a traumatic event happens, our brain will contain it, so we can't remember it. So I thought about that, but also how, in order to fully get that full picture, you do need to accept a lot of parts of yourself, even if you don't like them, to get an honest portrayal of this thing that has happened in your past. And that was the main thing.
Why did you use the multiple personality element to portray your story? And does that relate to Lakota, or does that more relate to the trauma?
Right. So that's well, after I wrote it, I kind of thought back. Like, I'm aware that in certain Dakota tribes, there's different ideas of how many spirits one person has, and also within different gender or sexual identities, that's also a part of it. But I was thinking mostly in terms of how, this is kind of bad, but how, in terms of the code switching, how Indian do you allow yourself to be in certain spaces compared to other spaces? Because I will say there's this thing in my background where if I were to talk like I am now in certain settings, some people, even people I know, would say you're talking white or you're trying to sound white, which there's a traumatic reason why, in terms of how the English language was forced on us, and how this idea that if we don't speak it well, we're more Indian, just in certain spaces though. So that was a big part of it. It had less to do with the culture and more to do with the history of the relationship between tribes and the United States government. Wow. Thank you.
A round of appreciation for our guest.